Hello, folks. Hello. Back to the story. If it wasn't challenging to write, it wouldn't be worth doing, I suppose. Yeah, let's, feels like I've been away from this for a lot longer than a single day. I don't know why. Let's see. Where the hell was I earlier? I wasn't born in the nice part of town. I already noted. In a house with servants and I didn't grow up in a house full of servants and nice furniture, and chocolate ice cream whenever I wanted. I wondered what was Freud. I can't say Freudian, because Freud doesn't exist in this universe. Or what Freudian excuse. Wondered what my Marty thought of chocolate ice cream. And he was thinking of luxury. Maybe it was something he coveted. And he coveted growing up. Maybe when he saw rich boys playing in Liverpool Park. Liverpool Park. It's probably got a different name in real life, but it doesn't matter because this didn't have to be Liverpool. It's just based on Liverpool. Coveted, desired. Yep. Okay. I saw rich boys and they always had some big scoop of chocolate ice cream. Big ice cream cone of chocolate ice cream. I preferred cookies and cream when I was little, and I still do. The place by my house, Anderson's, has the best ice cream you can get. Soft serve. Plus they sell hard ice cream. You know, the hard ice cream is the kind that you get in the big containers. The soft ice cream is just like, you know, like custard. Like, they call it frozen custard, I think. I don't know. I prefer regular custard. If I'm gonna eat custard, I prefer the regular custard. Arlen himself rarely got sweets, even though there was quite a lot of it in the house. Quite a lot of sweets in the house. Mother didn't want, even though there were quite a lot of sweets in the house. Growing up, I didn't want him or his brothers getting fat. She said she was raising boys, not piglets. She did give sweets to the children of servants in the house, leading Ireland to joke that she wasn't picking up. The storm is over, folks. We survived it. Praise the Lord. Now I can maybe go out later and get some alcohol for my brother, who's staying home while the rest of the family's on vacation. He likes his liquor. Yeah. Kind of glad I don't touch the stuff. I wouldn't want to become another alcoholic writer, you know? I mean, I can barely write like this when I'm sober. I can imagine how shitty I would be if I was a drunk. I don't associate I don't think I would be one of those functioning alcoholics, since I don't even function normally. Anyway. Leading Ireland to joke that she preferred to spoil. She preferred the children of the servants to her own. Servant children to her own. That wasn't true. That wasn't true, naturally. And that wasn't true, naturally. Actually, this wasn't true. When the Civil War happened, and Ireland found himself sleeping and living in the woods instead of a comfy bed, room for the first time in his life. It was quite a rude awakening. It took some getting used to. One positive in liberated towns, in towns away from the fighting, where life was going along as normally as possible. I think there is a lot of normal life going on during civil wars, because usually, well, you know, things are rough, but there are, even in a very war-torn country, there are still parts of it that aren't consumed completely by conflict. I might just be talking shit here, but, you know, I don't think even World War II, there were parts of Europe where nothing bad happened to anybody, and, you know, people, like, forgot that there was a war on. I don't know, like, places like Switzerland, and some parts of, like, far-off Russia, where people didn't even know where people were so isolated, they didn't even know the communists took over Russia, and the Tsar was gone. That's the kind of isolation that sometimes loners would like. Let's see, where's the life was going on as normally as possible. I don't forget finding an ice cream parlor. And get as much ice cream as you could stomach. Chocolate, vanilla, Italian cookie, no, Meghalinian and cookie, and of course, strawberry. I wonder why they're called strawberries. They don't taste like straw. God, could you imagine a berry that tastes like straw? That would be... Maybe a horse would like that, but not me. Now you see why it takes so long to write a novel, folks. Look at all this chatter so far. And we're only 8... This took 8 minutes to write all this. 9 minutes almost. Oh boy. Let's see. It was a rough part of town. Marty continued. Sounding almost like a soldier there. A man who had fought in a particularly rough campaign. Ireland's mother, far off from the fighting, wasn't there to scold him about indulging in sweets. Indulging. No. Are you saying possessing crime was the only path available to you? you? Arlen asked cuttingly. Is that the right phrase there? Marty stared at Arlen for a moment, rather blankly. The hard-to-read expression. Then continued. I suppose I could have become a bum. I could have worked like a dog in some little store, saving up enough money. Saving up money only to have some slum landlord or a gang steal it all from me. Marty muttered. I realized pretty quick that legitimate work, at least in the slums of Liverpool, was for rubes. Rubes? Is that the right way to spell rube? I'll check later. Today I skipped an energy drink, folks. Just had a coffee for breakfast. Oh, and orange juice. Orange juice is pretty good. I'm running low. I gotta get another case of those jugs of them. Just a little jug of orange juice. Glug, glug, glug. We're playing. I was victimized a lot by criminals. I already know it. My parents were murdered by a couple of them. In a time where Liverpool, no shortage of heinous crimes, their deaths stood out. Marty pondered that moment before continuing. I know what it means to suffer. I know what it means to suffer, Marty said. So I tried to avoid hurting civilians as much as possible. Threat of violence is enough. Plus, I had a lot of enemies to be violent against. Not much. Nobody cares if you take out some criminal. They signed up for violence. They knew what they were getting into. Right. Alan agreed. Alan found this all pretty fascinating. He once had a pretty black and white view of crime. He understood there was a lot of gray. Understood there was a lot of gray. People becoming thieves, feed their families, and so on. Oh, I didn't think it was bad to look at someone like Marty Holstrom. Didn't think it was bad to look at someone like Marty as black instead of gray. crime lords, even kind ones, were responsible for so many terrible things. It was hard to think of them as anything but evil. Ireland knew that Marty was heavily involved, was basically the master of the Liverpool drug trade. That meaning illegal drugs. He was responsible. These paragraphs, when you looking at them in a big text like this, it's kind of hard to realize when you've written a very large paragraph. Only when you see it in much smaller font, like what you would have for a novel, then you see that it's bigger. Many deaths from overdoses. A lot of lives and families ruined from addiction alone. In Ireland, you're starting to sound a bit like Batman now. Let's see. And even if Marty tried to avoid victimizing innocent people, many still suffered under his watch. Probably don't need that one. You sell drugs, don't you? Arlen asks. Street drugs? Yeah. Marty replied and grinned. But I'm just in control of one city. The Cromish Empire spread illegal drugs all over the world. Half of Wu got addicted to opium under your watch, and there are drug crises. Is that the right way to spell crisis? Look at all those words for disasters. Disasters, catastrophes, emergencies, calamity. I heard catastrophic in a story I was watching yesterday. A guy suffered a catastrophic heart attack and died just like that. And, it's kind of a rare thing in fiction, actually, for someone to just die of a heart attack or something like that. Usually when someone dies, it's for a reason. Who got addicted to opium on their watch. And there are drug crises in Akun and Chan. Chan being India. You could argue the Cromish are the reason why Wu was so divided and screwed up to the point where Wu was almost conquered by the Japanese. Tiny island nation, comparatively. Ireland supposed Marty was right in a way. Chromia had, in the effort to the effort to build an empire and maintain it caused a lot of misery and strife in the world, in the less developed world. But Marty could argue that thousands Chromia had done a lot more evil than he ever could. I understand what you're saying, Arlen said. Maybe you're not as evil as the Chromish Empire. You didn't cause as much suffering as Chromia did, as opium did. I understand what you're saying. Chromia is responsible for a lot of misery. So is Zelgoria. So is Ludka. So is the Jade Empire. You should own up to the things you've done. Agreed? Marty smiled then. History will probably judge me harshly. No matter what I do to fight the Jade. Did D say anything? It was then that D, for the first time in this meeting, spoke up. You could live 1,000 years and never undo. You could do good deeds for 1,000 years and not make up for what you've done. He said, rather coldly. I suppose so, Marty said, by looking less pleased. Pleased, then. What is your legacy on Richington? Marty asked, looking back to Ireland. What was Ireland's response? Buy the book to find out. Please, I'm very destitute.